So why is the resurrection good news? Firstly, because it vindicates Jesus. And it's the first and most important thing, is that it vindicates Jesus. See, the authorities killed Jesus. Pilate killed him to avoid upsetting the Jewish authorities. And he was afraid that they would send a bad report about him to Tiberius the emperor, who recalled him in disgrace. And the Jewish leaders killed Jesus because they envied his popularity. They couldn't defeat him in debate. He disrupted the proper way of doing things, treating sinners and the sick as more precious to God than the religious leaders. And because he claimed to be God's son. Though some of them as individuals secretly followed Jesus, most of them as a social group loathed him. They just wished he'd go away. And as he wouldn't do that, they decided they'd put him away. Because they had no legal authority to execute Jesus. Only Pilate had that. So they worked on Pilate's career fear, emotionally pressurizing him into crucifying Jesus. And they were very happy about that. For crucifixion was death by hanging on a symbolic tree. And that fixed it for Jesus, literally by nails and spiritually by the law, which says that anyone who dies hung on a tree is cursed by God. Oh, then the people would come to their senses. They'd never believe that God would let his own son be crucified. As Peter later wrote, the cross was a stone that caused the Jews to stumble, a rock that made them fall. But before he wrote that, on Pentecost Sunday, Peter reminded the people that the patriarch David, who was a prophet, seeing what was ahead, spoke of the resurrection of the Christ, that he was not abandoned to the grave, nor did his body see decay. And he proclaimed, Peter, speaking that day, proclaimed, God has raised this Jesus to life, exalting him to his right hand. Let all Israel be assured of this. God has made this Jesus, whom you crucified, both Lord and Christ. See, the law's verdict was overturned by the law's maker. All Jesus did and said is now seen to be just as he said it was. The words and actions of God his Father. Jesus Christ, wrongly killed by man, rightly raised up by God. The false Messiah turns out to be the true Christ. The song